The IT crowd finally cometh. Tomorrow, the 24th of October, PC users are finally going to be able to enjoy all the delights that Destiny 2 has to offer. Repetitive quests, shit endgame content, the defective loot system which turns you into a loot hostage, convenient loot crates that will help you gear up, eternal loading screens, a social hub that makes you run long fucking distances for no logical reason, and the worst campaign story since Battlefield Hardline. In a few hours' time, PC users all over the world will finally have the secrets of Destiny 2 revealed to them, which console users have had access to for nearly 2 months. And that secret is... it's boring. Before anyone feels like an idiot for ordering this game on PC, I already own it on PS4, and I will also be getting a PC copy tomorrow, just for shits and giggles, so I'm twice the idiot you are. As a PC user, I did get some entertainment out of learning to play on console, badly, and finally getting to experience a Destiny title. There were some interesting moments, but frankly there is no escaping the fact that Destiny 2 is dull as fuck. It's like the magazine you might read while sitting in a dentist's waiting room. There might have been something on the cover that caught your attention, but a few minutes in you realise that reading a copy of Housekeeping News is only going to keep you amused for a fleeting instant. I shit you not, I have literally had more fun playing war games on my desk using a large bag of Skittles as tanks whilst trying to avoid writing a fucking assignment. So as this is the eve of the PC launch of the game, I thought I'd do a recap of my Destiny 2 experiences, because sharing the pain might reduce it. So what have I discovered about Destiny 2 so far? Well, for starters, it is not what I would consider a complete game. Some games sell you a whole game, and you pay for DLC to expand on that whole game. Destiny 2, despite retailing as a AAA title, is clearly intended not to be a finished product. We are essentially paying full whack for the game, full whack for the expansions, and at the end of it, hopefully, and this is frankly a fucking gamble, hopefully we will end up with one complete game after having spent enough money to buy 2 fucking games. It took me a long time to realise this, but the core problem with Destiny 2 is the arrogance at the heart of the entire fucking project. It is arrogant to take away everyone's in-game purchases and assume they will buy them again. It is arrogant to fling half a game at the Destiny community and assume they will put up with that shit. It is fucking arrogant to have such a weak and lazy storyline. And it is arrogant to have such lazy and out-of-date quest mechanics in a fucking game made in 2017. The entire game is fucking arrogant. The message here is, let's just fling this half-baked, unfinished pile of crap at the community, try and sell them as many microtransactions as possible, and hopefully the fucking silly dances and emotes will distract them from the fact that we're dropping a massive Cleveland fucking steamer on our customers' chests. At least 3/4 of the players are not the fucking goldfish that they thought they were, and they have already fucked off. Yes, that's right. Most Destiny 2 players on console are already bored as fuck and have stopped playing. Sow the wind, reap the fucking whirlwind. Most of the game is basically this. Go here, kill some dudes, get a cookie. Go here, kill some more dudes, get another cookie. Go back to the place where you killed the dudes, kill some more dudes, get another fucking cookie. It makes World of fucking Warcraft look futuristic and progressive. It's fucking 2017 and the best shit they could come up with was that. The graphics might have changed and you might be using a gun, but most of the quests are quite literally like the starting zone quests in vanilla World of fucking Warcraft. Destiny 2 is practically a fucking retro video game. On loads of occasions when playing this game, it reminded me of Hogger and Elwyn Forest. And I'm not even cunting joking. Seriously, I was getting MMO PTSD. The campaign missions are unfortunately slightly worse than the repeatable missions. Well, they're largely identical. It's just doubly pissing annoying being sent back to the same spot over and over to kill dudes for another cookie when it's supposed to be a narrative mission. I think we mentally resigned to it in radial quests and repeatable missions, but campaign missions? Really? Being sent right back to the same cunting spot, repeatedly? Seriously? Most of the missions are simply lazy make-work schemes. Go and dig a hole, then fill it up. You know that shithole you just cleared out? Well, be a good boy and go right back there and do it again. Slightly differently. Because reasons. Basically just sending you on a long journey so you have to kill all the repopulating mobs to gain a level or two and kill some time. Another thing I don't get is the whole story hinges around the plot point that you are the only Guardian who got his light back. Yet, everywhere I go, there is an army of cunts running around with powers. I mean, what the fuck? Do I have to pretend I'm not in a massively online world, surrounded by an enormous community of players with their fucking powers? I mean, plot hole, what the fuck? In fact, as video game plot holes go, this will go down in fucking history. Mob pulling mechanics are basically like World of Warcraft once again. Pull, backpedal, shoot them when they gather up as they vector towards you. The Destiny spawn mechanics are so fucking predictable, uniform and regular that they make the spawn mechanics in the Division look like they're being secretly and cunningly coordinated by fucking Skynet. I never thought I would be defending the Division spawn mechanics, but fuck, it's been a week of miracles. It's fucking annoying that when you aim down sights, you lose the minimap and it takes ages to come back. Basically, it punishes proper weapons discipline. Not to mention that for gamers that actually do look at their fucking minimaps, it's as crippling as all fuck. The Mida multi-tool scout rifle lets you keep your minimap when you ADS, so let's just say that for a player like me, it's a must-have item. It's been hammered into my muscle memory to always use your minimap and always aim down sights when shooting, so Destiny 2 just felt like it was encouraging me to YOLO and hipfire. The loot system in the game is frankly fucking retarded, generic, dumbed down, and it's hard to get excited about a fucking thing. I suffer from gun porn addiction, and I have to go to counselling sessions twice a week. That is how hooked on gun porn I am. The fact that I have nothing to say about the guns in Destiny 2 says it all. I guess I like scout rifles, but frankly everything just seemed like a mishmash of random number generated gloop, and I didn't feel sad about vendoring a fucking thing. The loading screens are fucking horrific. I quickly learned that every time I saw a loading screen, it was an opportunity to run into another room and do something productive. Take a piss, make a sandwich, have a wank, make a sandwich whilst having a wank. The loading screens are inexcusably long, like up to 3 minutes long, for just changing zones. Just no. On the upside, and with a touch of irony, the pay-to-win pre-order weapon I received is worth every fucking penny. And I don't mean that in a good way. It's basically a shoulder-mounted Death Star. The longer you keep rounds on target, the more damage it does. It is literally the god weapon for face-tanking bosses. All you have to do is keep the shots on target and not let go of that trigger. I was embarrassed to use it in front of other players. It gets exponentially more powerful as you hold down the trigger. In boss fights out in the world, you could often see when the pay-to-win guy had turned up. 5 minutes into the encounter, some guy would jump off his bike, shoot a continuous laser beam into the boss. 7 seconds later, the boss would drop dead. Everyone would go home for tea and medals. It's embarrassing. I'm blushing talking about it because I own one. A couple of the missions in the campaign were interesting, mainly because they were based on existing sci-fi culture like Doom and Aliens, so they were not entirely devoid of tension. In defence of the game design, I would like to say that I like the way you don't have to dick around to change spec. Just go into the menu and do it. Job fucking done. In fact, changing spec is probably the thing in the game they got most right. Look, I had to put a compliment in somewhere, and that was the only fucking thing I could think of. So, as some of you know, I had to learn to use a console from scratch to play Destiny 2. Just in case any fellow PC players ever find themselves in the same position, I thought I would share the gory details of me losing my console virginity with you. In my personal and clueless cunting opinion, I thought the console controller was excellent. But there was a catch. I found that 95% of the time, the PS4 controller was as good or even better than using a mouse and keyboard. It was fucking excellent. Everything you need is literally under your fingers all the fucking time. The unfortunate catch is that the 5% of the time when using a controller sucks a hairy tramp's crusty penis is movement and aiming. For a PC diehard, a console controller is a dream to use, apart from the bit where you have to move or fucking shoot. That bit, the most important part of playing a lot of games, is a fucking nightmare and takes a long time to learn if you haven't done it before. The way I got past the hump was simple. As a former World of Warcraft player, farming the same depressing, soul-crushing spot for days on end, endlessly going round and fucking round in a circle, killing the same fucking mobs, over and fucking over, is now hardwired into my DNA. So, I went to one place, the Trostland starting area, and I farmed the same fucking spot for 2 days solid. I farmed until I was soaked with salty tears of boredom and despair. My logic was this. If you farm the same spot, know exactly what to do and where everything is, your brain only has to concentrate on one thing, the controls and making them work. It worked like a dream. By freeing up most of my mental resources so I only had to consciously focus on the fucking controls, I started to learn much faster than if I'd been trying to problem solve, navigate, or think about quests or spawns all at the same fucking time. My advice to anyone who is switching from PC to console or console to PC is simply this. Find a nice, boring, predictable area to farm and do it until you are bleeding from the cunting eyes and pissing kidney stones. Then a moment will come when suddenly you realise your mind is wandering because you are now controlling the game unconsciously. And that is the point where you have fucking cracked it. There is something visceral about playing on console. I think it's the combination of having both hands gripped around a controller, the fact you literally pull a trigger and that it vibrates. A lot of this affects you unconsciously, but that physical interface combined with the physical feedback definitely affects the experience in positive ways that people might take for granted. As a newcomer to console, I'm acutely aware of how well that really drags you into the game experience. That part of it I really liked. So, here are a few tips for new PC players gearing up in Destiny 2 tomorrow. I specifically mention gearing up and not levelling up because you can't fucking avoid levelling up. Gearing up, however, well, you can start getting that shit wrong very early on in the game. The loot system basically rewards you like Skyrim, only shitter. Loot levels to you. Whatever gear level you are, the loot drops at a slightly higher level. The problem is that at high levels this tops out, and then there are only certain things you can do to creep up those last few points towards 300 or so. I've linked a video below by Upper Echelon Gamers because I learned this shit from their video and it's a perfect guide on how to avoid becoming a loot hostage. I thoroughly recommend that you watch it before playing. The TLDR is, you get certain rewards locked at a certain gear level depending on what your gear level is when you cap them. But very importantly, there are certain rewards like specific engrams, milestones and activities that you should avoid cashing in or completing until you're at a very high gear level, because they drop the highest items of gear and you can cap that shit when you are running out of options for improving your gear level. Basically, don't blow your load during the foreplay or you will ruin the finale. Do all the mission quests, but ignore the milestones. Don't pick up or cash anything that isn't loot level fixed. The Crucible is normalised, that's the PvP area, so gear level is not an issue, only added mods. So if in doubt, the Crucible is a fairly amusing way to spend a little time, earn some XP and gear and bump yourself up. Seriously though, watch the upper echelon video I've linked below. It will save you a lot of pain later. The balked loot system in this game means that if you do the wrong stuff too early, you might reach a point where there is very little you can do each week to raise your gear level, other than go to the premium fucking store and start buying loot crates like they fucking want you to do anyway. So, what's the skinny with Shadergate and the great microtransaction robbery? In typical style, Bungie realised that if it weathered the storms of protest, after a few weeks the community would just shrug and accept it, like a rape victim in a gulag. We're all getting so used to the abuse these days, it's becoming normal, I guess. As all Destiny 2 fans are now painfully aware, Destiny 2 was primarily a financial endeavour. Bungie stole Destiny 1 from you, robbed you of all your microtransaction purchases, as an excuse to sell you the same game back in instalments, resell you all your loot cash crap back to you again, well, rent some of it back, and give you essentially the same fucking game again, starting from scratch, paid for all over. Seriously, wake up and smell the coffee. Destiny 2 was designed by a room full of psychologists and accountants to maximise player spending. They ramped up microtransactions to the max, and used the story plotline to dress everyone up to look like hobos. In fact, I would go as far as to say the game has suffered because more attention has been focused on revenue generation than finishing the fucking game design. So there. I also frankly have to call it how I see it. The fucky loot system and deliberate lack of high-end content will leave many players getting stuck and unable to gear up quickly. Sitting there in the social area is a vendor selling loot crates, which can drop top-of-the-line, high-end gear. This is not a fucking coincidence. I'm sorry, but it is what it fucking is. They have contrived a situation where for many players, the easiest and perhaps only option to gear up to max level quickly will be to get out their fucking wallets and start spending. That's not a dick in the arse, that's a solid spit roasting, with Bungie doing high fives to each other above your back. There is a poor level of endgame content designed to leave you in the fucking doldrums so you spend cash. Seriously, fuck them. No, really, they can go and fuck themselves. And you can bet your fucking arse the loot algorithms on those engrams is designed to tickle you with just enough legendary loot to keep you itching for another. Do yourself and the whole of the fucking gaming industry a favour. Don't spend any money. Well, good luck to all the PC players logging in tomorrow. I'm sure there are 20 to 30 hours of fun to be had from this game. Well, maybe fun is a bit strong. The best way I can describe Destiny 2 is that it's a game capitalising on the dream of the future, that at some point in the future it will be both finished and good. At the moment, it's a substandard knockoff copy of Destiny 1. It's frankly a sad joke. Destiny 2 is like getting drunk on a Spanish holiday, accepting an invite to a hard selling conference on an island where you can't escape, and in a fit of stupidity, whilst in a drunken haze, signing up for a mortgage on a Spanish Riviera holiday home. Basically, at some point in the future, your massive financial investment might pay off, and when the shake and bake village is finally finished, populated and established, and there are shops and bars and a vibrant nightlife and everyone has moved into their villas, it might be worthwhile. But right now, you're painfully aware that you paid a fuck ton of money for an unfinished fucking wreck on a desolate, deserted cunting building site. Destiny 2 is boring and unfinished, and one day it might be great, but I'm not holding my fucking breath. We have literally lent Bungie the cash to finish Destiny 2, and we don't even get interest payments on our investment. Fuck, they ain't even gonna pay us back. Good luck, and happy hunting. What the fuck is going on with that bird? Come on, hurry up. Fucking hell, hurry up, for fuck's sake. My internet is excellent, so why is this taking so cunting long? The sad thing is, this is not the most fucking boring thing about Destiny 2. Fuck this. If I'd known it was going to take this long, I would have gone and had a wank.